Two tech entrepreneurs sat down and had a conversation, all from the same country, from Zimbabwe. This is what I see in this interview between Masiyiwa and James Manyika, who is head of AI at Google.
I trained as an engineer. I was fortunate enough to, as we were finishing university, people like Bill Gates were beginning to work on microcomputers, and we were all, thinking, wow, this is it. To my home country, Zimbabwe, after studying in Britain, hoping to help in the reconstruction of our country. As an engineer, my own particular discipline was telecommunications, which was about to undergo an incredible revolution.
You probably should describe this. What was the state of telecommunications in Zimbabwe at that time?
Well, Zimbabwe was considered, James, believe it or not, to be one of the best in Africa at the time. 0.7% of our population had access to the telephone. And that was twice the continental average at the time, outside of South Africa and North Africa. So basically, there were no telephones. I mean, I worked for the telephone company, and the official waiting list was 14 years for a telephone.
To get a line.
To get a line. So it was pretty cool walking down the street as a telephone engineer, because everybody wanted to get a telephone line off you.
So what did you do then when you went back home?
When I went back home, I worked for the telephone company. Then the digital revolution began to emerge, particularly around mobile phones. I decided to be an entrepreneur because I noticed that no one was particularly interested in adopting the technology. So I set up my own mobile telephone company and tried to persuade the authorities that this was the future, and they kicked me out, and we ended up in a terrible dispute over it. But look, it shows you what can happen. People feel threatened by new technology.
And what really struck me is the fact that what Masiyiwa said about him being schooled outside of Zimbabwe before independence, and then coming up and becoming an entrepreneur and seeing the need and trying to meet that need. Where am I going with this? How important is it for you as an individual? Probably you are working in the diaspora, in these doldrums that we have as a country of the economy not syncing up and under sanctions and opposition, all of that. It is convenient for a number of people to leave the country and find greener pastures somewhere. But also, this is also another opportunity for people to acquire skills or hone great deal of skills that they can use back home in the event that things have normalized and things are now better or they are looking good. This is what Masiyiwa did. He took this opportunity and it has given him a lifelong fortune and a lifelong legacy. What I'm trying to say here is that as you are outside Zimbabwe in the diaspora, make use of an opportunity that you can use back home in the event that you come back to develop the country. We've seen the same with Paul Kagame. He honed his skills when he was in Uganda as a refugee, and he came back and he ruled Rwanda. And I can name a lot of people that have done that, and they've come back to their countries and they've become better. Even the likes of Thabo Mbeki, even the likes of Tandimo Dise, who was the former Speaker of Parliament. So what I'm trying to say here is that there is an opportunity in this time for us to equip ourselves for the new Zimbabwe, not just to be talking on social media or doing whatever we're doing, including myself. I need to equip myself for the times that are to come when Zimbabwe is going to be better. This is just a word of advice. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you on the next one.